Man, lately, it's just been so difficult. Like, people, I mean, and I'm not perfect, I make mistakes, or I can be manipulated by people. And the fact that, I'm a Christian, right? I gotta forgive, I gotta give an ear. If someone asks of something of me, I'm supposed to go 2 miles. And you should be able to take a slap on the face. You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference between a slap across the face. You know what I'm saying? A slap across the face is more like being disrespected to your freaking face. Sometimes it's an actual slap. But look, someone coming like this against you, and especially like, look, and they're doing it without cause. That's not what it means when it says turn the other cheek. Uh, and because you have the strength, the mental and heart strength to turn the other freaking cheek, sometimes people start to perceive that as cowardly, as you're a fucking chump, you're a pushover. They can get over on you. You deserve it now because you keep letting them get away with it. So they start to lose freaking respect for you. And I mean, lately I had someone just straight up right in my face fucking betray me. But I was reading in Gad, it says don't discuss your problems with people, even if they feign concern, even if it's a trusted person you know in your whole life. Uh, but it's listen. Actually, I can forgive it, and I can take that slap across the face because that person shows that they're really deep down in darkness, true darkness. You know what I'm saying? Just because I sit in the daytime and in the sun doesn't mean that I can't be in darkness or my eyes could be totally freaking blacked out. Uh, anyway, it's like I know this for certain as well, man. I mean, what I'll tell you, this is a problem actually that I've noticed is a side effect of something here. I've been playing with the idea of stoicism. Stoicism means be like really cut off, man. It doesn't mean you're disattached totally, like where I don't hear you at all, and I'm in my mind. It's like I'm actually listening. People aren't used to that. I'm not used to doing that. I've just started to dabble in it. And it's just like with everything, man. If you go too hard with anything, like let's say insanity, desperation. It says, all right, if you just become fucking insane, bad. If you're really desperate, there's no faith there. You're overly worried and you become dangerous. But if you desperately seek the Lord, it's like even if it looks appears reckless, I guess, and you fall, does it? Wouldn't God catch you if you were truly doing it with a pure heart? Or it also says those who really understand God are going to appear to be insane to people. Like when you operate off the Spirit, people are going to take it as insanity. And I mean, I'll tell you, this is my personal problem. By learning how to become stoic, in a way, I realize I've started to become actually what you would call cold. It's like I've had to endure too much craziness, too much like animosities, and just like look and discouragement that where you start to become cold. And I mean, I'm not always like this. And here's another grave, and then here's another one, fatalistic. And you become so freaking serious sometimes. Like sometimes it's not necessary to be that freaking serious. But it's not a bad thing to be serious. But when you're too serious, when you're so serious, it has a tendency to, like, you be putting off the vibe. Like, there's a movie called Apocalypto, and it said there's a part where these people came through their village, and they all looked sketched out. Their eyes were all big, and they were like, and they weren't saying anything. And it was like, the dude was like, you got infected with their disease of fear. You know what I'm saying? I'm also listening to these testaments of the patriarchs, and it talks about different negative emotions reside in different organs and body parts. Like bitterness is your gallbladder. I think anger is your liver. Craftiness is your kidneys. I mean, I didn't know none of this stuff, but it makes perfect freaking sense to me. With the total, I'll tell you this: with the martial art knowledge, a lot of it, if you kick out the mysticism and you get more like, think of it as anatomical knowledge, like knowledge of the body, this stuff is right in the same freaking alley as that understanding. Uh, Not to say that it entirely, no, it is, a lot of it is kind of, it's the same thing as the Greeks, that twisted snake thing with wings. It's the same thing. You're going to catch a lot of weirdness in there, and sorcery and pharmakeia, as well as actual medicine. So I'll give you that. But see, knowledge can be medicine, but a little bit of knowledge puffeth up, and then it becomes poison and venom. And that's where you start to become cold. It's because people spray you constantly with venom, and some of it gets in your eyes, some of it drips into your mouth, some of it's on your hands. You wipe your head from the sweat, and it drips back down in you in a metaphorical, allegorical sense. So in a way, you're going to start to, in order to develop this immunity to the toxin, you're going to become infected by it for a season. It's going to affect you at first, but if you keep taking the doses, you can take higher doses, and eventually they'll stop to work. But you could pick up the side effect of becoming cold if you don't catch your freaking self. Part of being the empath too, you feel everything that everyone's doing, and you feel the weirdness. And I know when people project weirdness, they expect you to catch it, and they're waiting for you to respond to it in the way that they want, because that's a platform. You give them the justification to kick it up a notch, and that's where they really wanted to take it. I had a person say to me, "Man, it's like after I hung out with you, I feel this way." And I was like, "Well, look, I know I quietly sat there for a long time and just let them vent and vent and vent. And everything they vented was negative. And it's like, see, when you was alone, you didn't have no one to talk down at. So you have someone to vent to, and it's like, it reminded you of all the shit because you had someone to talk about it with. And that's what happens when you dig up people's animosities and guilts and grudges, is that there's a lot of, it's toxic. It's like dealing with spiritual toxic waste, psychological toxic freaking waste, man. And it's like, look, you gotta have a good defense. Sometimes the best defense is an offense. It's like you see them coming, you cut them off. But if you operate off the wrong motives, out of time, if you go overkill, you justify it. But if you use the right, at the right timing, flip it around, make them take their negative somehow, and make them look at something positive again for a second. Look, they want to catch on fire, but this isn't the fire of the Holy Spirit. This is more like the black fire of the enemy, of the devil, and his superpowers from his spirit that people get, like the rage spirit, self-righteous spirit. You know what I'm saying? Perfectionist, legalist, bitter, contentious. I heard this word. It's called peevish. You know what I'm saying? Peevish is it's like it's quarrelsome. It says pettish. That's like petty. You know what I'm saying? Short tempered. I don't have a short temper. See, there's another problem here. It's like, look, when you put up as much as I do, it's not gone. It just gets bottled up. And believe it, every 100 attacks, it's like I try to forgive 77 times 7, and I put that to a good test. And likewise, people with me. But I know I don't step on their toes too hard, or I don't try to overstep the boundary there. Look, when I talk to people, like personally in my life and my family, about Jesus and all that, they like to talk with me about it. It's because it's not that I itch their ears. I don't come at it with this kind of with this finger at everyone, man. And it's like having a sword of the spirit, but in the sword of the word, but they're just like poking people like this, like in the ribs, up here in the shoulder, in the arm. They're just barely poking, kind of in a provocatory, kind of passive aggressive, gaslight fashion. And it's like no one likes that. That makes everyone, gives everyone a ucky, yucky, dirty feeling. And they, instead of being able to plant any seeds at all, these people be like, they don't want none of them seeds. Because they're attached. Like the person, it's like the sower who's sowing these seeds, though they're seeds from the Bible and the Word. The fact when they handle them, it's like there's a dark spiritual gunk on their hands and in their mouth and in their minds and over their eyes and their hearts. So when they're spewing these seeds, there's that attachment to gunk. A person like me, I can snatch those things out of the air and blow that dirt off them, shine them up, and be like, yeah, I see what you're trying to go with there. But other people can't. They can't handle it. In a way, it stifles. It's like these people don't even have a fire yet. Their fire's like a candle. And you're trying to throw these big, heaving, big, giant trees at them. Here, burn that, burn that. These people ain't ready yet. Their metabolism's still too choked. You know what I'm saying? In a way. It's like they can't handle it yet. So you gotta, before you can let them look, it's like, I could jump out of the way of them trees. It's like, look, I got a Bible of my own. So it's like, why heave your trees at me when I can just go and observe the cedars of Lebanon? You know what I'm saying, for myself. And it's just really difficult on that tip right there. But same thing, man. It's just difficult. It puts you at a very, you gotta love your enemy. That's real difficult. They make that mean something. You know what I'm saying? But it also is a sign of times. Your enemies will be that of your own household. Prophet's not seen in his own country or his own house. Something to that effect. I mean, not saying that I'm that guy there, but I'm just saying, it's like, look, this is a reoccurring theme that, or same thing. Jesus was a Jew. The Jewish people said he's not the Messiah and had him killed. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is a reoccurring theme that the closest people to you just, I was saying the other day about, it's almost sometimes when someone else comes in and tells your story, they can actually tell it from a better perspective because it's fresh to them, it's new to them, but everything is so mundane to you that there might be some of those, like I said, it's like under those heaps and heaps of spiritual black gook, there might be some actual treasures in there, but who can get through the muck and the gook to get to them without coming out nasty? You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just your regular type of bath that's gonna get that stuff off you in a way. It's like you gotta take a spiritual. You gotta bathe spiritually a lot. You gotta know how to. Only a person who lives in a such fashion can only get deep down in some of those places and come out without getting his head twisted. Same thing, like people go to war, some of them come back really fucked up. Because I mean, it's on their level of some people were never meant to be there. They couldn't handle it. Kind of like that dude Private Pile on Full Metal Jacket. You know what I'm saying? Some people ain't meant to be there, so they crack. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with that. You try to go into these places and you're gonna crack because it's kind of like there was an Acts, these guys, and it said that they went and they were trying to expel this demon from this guy, and this dude was like, I don't know who you are. And he tore them to shreds, and they ran out naked and bleeding and running for their freaking lives. And I mean, it's serious. Look, like I said, look, the demons get bold, man. And I know why they're so bold, too, because look, my life ain't freaking perfect. You know what I'm saying? I don't live alone on top of a mountain. You know what I'm saying? So look, it gives them some ammunition, but look, they'll go way they'll go way above and beyond, and they'll actually put themselves in a bad position just to put you on blast a little bit, and that's kind of shows the motives and intentions